Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever part of the day it is for you. Welcome. Welcome to Wealth Reimagined. So, I am your host, Mya K, and I just want to welcome you. Thank you for tuning in. I know that it has been announced that the Family Bloodline Network would be starting this segment. And so I could not allow Financial Literacy Month to come around and not have content ready to go for you. So, welcome. Thank you for June. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in and joining me as we dive in. So, let me tell you a little bit about me. So, my name is Mya, and I have been in the banking industry for over 20 years now. And I'm learning how to use this studio, so bear with me just one moment because this view is a little crazy. So I've been in the banking industry now, gosh, 24 years. 24 years. I'll take you down that journey a little bit. So started out as a part-time job while I was in college. I took a teller position at a credit union. So credit unions are where I started my financial career, and which was great actually. And from there went on to do more, instead of front facing work, some behind the scenes, where was really my introduction to loans. But that was more like definitely the background work, all the things you don't see that happens and that has to happen if you apply for a loan. So I did some commercial clerk work. I did some lien perfection, which just means, if you buy a car, you see the name of the bank or the finance company that has a lien on your car. Well, I had to like file those. I was filing paperwork. It was back in 2000 something, right? And so I'm filing paperwork. From there, I did some UCC perfections. I've done secondary market for mortgage shipping, which some of you may be familiar with what that is. And then I got into the consumer or personal loan side of things. And from there, honestly, from there, that's where I pretty much stayed, except for one little spell where I did branch management for a couple years to get some management experience under my belt and uh you know see if I wanted to do something different. But I really fell in love with the loan side. I did some processing, which was like preparing the loan documents, getting them typed up, making sure everything was accurate. But then I moved into underwriting. And so underwriting is where it really took off for me, and I really loved it. Um, Doing the same thing, but it's a little different every time. So, one moment. And I'll edit this out. I don't know how to use the studio yet, but I don't like what I'm seeing here. So, anyway, um, that's really it. So, now, the bulk of my experience now, it's been about 16 years, 15 to 16 years that I've been underwriting. So underwriting just means that I'm the person that if you apply for a loan, I review your application, I review your credit report. I look to see what your capacity is to um, have a loan, if you'll be able to afford it, if you'll be able to how you'll maintain it, basically. How do you make your payments? How have you paid other people? How long have you been on your job? Um, you know, just different things. I'm analyzing different parts of your application to come to either a yes or a no. So I always tell people I can make your day or I can break your day. I can make your weekend or I can break your weekend. And it's not personal, it's just part of the process. And You have to fit in between certain guidelines for us to approve. So that's what I do. And I've come to love that. I've come to love just all the things that I've been able to learn about credit and able to apply that to myself, how I've been able to give advice to people in my life. I used to do some credit education in the past where I was just trying to help people understand it. People seem to be very attracted to credit and they want it and they feel like they should be able to get what they want just because of a credit score and all that. But that is a conversation that I will save for a different episode because I really want to take you through a bit of a series this month for Financial Literacy Month and really set some foundational pieces that I hope you can take something away from and it'll be beneficial and can help you in your own financial journey. Okay. So, first, I did want to talk briefly, very briefly, about Financial Literacy Month. So, Financial Literacy Month is observed every April, and its purpose is to bring awareness about the importance of financial education and to really empower and help you make financial choices that are deliberate, sound, and just maybe make adjustments or bring attention to something or a certain area in your own finances that um, maybe you've wanted to improve. It could be managing debt and getting things paid off. It could be boosting savings. It could be finally creating a budget because a lot of people don't have a budget. Do you have a budget? So it could just be that, the simple foundational steps. So this month is just to bring awareness to that, encourage habits. And so that's what I plan to do. I plan to have 4 videos because I want to focus on certain topics and I want you to walk away from that video and it'll be like homework, but not homework, but really encourage you to take to heart what's shared and see how you can implement that into your own life in really practical ways. So that is a little just overview that this is a every April thing. You'll see a lot of content or a lot of banks and credit unions, um, financial investment companies, things like that, hosting just events or webinars. So take advantage of that. Don't just listen to one person. Of course, if you find somebody that you love, that's great. But listen, there's so much out there and there's so much to learn. And the nice thing about personal finance is that we're really all telling you the same thing. It just may be the delivery, it just might be the style, it might just be something about a specific person that speaks to you. So check out different people and their methods and their advice. But the foundation, that's what I really want to focus on because I feel like anybody can tell you what you should do or how to do it or what percentage to do and all that. But you gotta have the foundation, right? You gotta have the mindset. You gotta have certain steps already in place that are foundational to set you up for success. And so that's what I want to focus on over, I guess, the course of my career in the front-facing positions that I did have, where I did get to help. Um, my time as a branch manager was at a credit union again, and I did get an opportunity um, to kind of do some financial coaching, and I was in the process of becoming a financial counselor, but decided to go a different path and get back into underwriting. Branch management, just at that time in my life, was just a bit too, it was stressful, but it was just also, I didn't want to be a generalist in many topics. I wanted to really be more specialized, and the bulk of my experience at that time was in underwriting and credit and all that, and I really wanted to get back into that space, and so that's what I did. That's what I did. I pivoted back to underwriting. I'm grateful that I was able to do that. So, personal finance. That's what this podcast will be about. Um, Personal finance is about how you manage your individual or your household financially, your money at home. Again, that's budgeting, saving, investing, even like protecting your assets with insurance or life insurance. Um, and it's all in a movement to get to a certain life goal financially. So, you know, we can get into conversations about income, budgeting, spending, saving, investing, debt management, and all with the goal, the overall goal. So, again, foundational, right? But the goal is for you to get the foundation so that you can move into more emphasis on retirement planning, investing, um, you know, just really building wealth, really getting to a point where you're making your money work for you. But again, that starts with mindset. You have to understand the importance. You have to understand that however you grew up with money doesn't mean that's how you have to be with money. You have to work on getting rid of beliefs that no longer serve you, especially around money. You have to think about that blueprint that's been set for you. How did your parents handle money? How did you grow up? What was it like? Were you all very poor? Did you only get hand-me-downs? Um, were you middle class? You have to take all these things into consideration. And based off of that initial blueprint that you have for money, do you have beliefs that are serving or that are not serving you, that are hindering you? Did you see your parents always wiping a credit card and you had and everything you wanted was there, but you also saw like your parent stressed, dodging the phone? If you're anywhere near where I am in life, you remember the phone, the house phone ringing, maybe somebody not answering the phone. You remember caller ID coming in the scene, and then you could monitor those calls a little differently. But, think those are all things to think about and that we'll get into. But that's what personal finance is. That's what this podcast is going to be about. So, again, I'm really glad that you're here. So, let's go ahead because I'm going to try to keep these short and sweet. So, let's go ahead and get into this week's focus. And this week's focus is about getting organized. You have to get organized. You have to get organized. I can't stress this enough. And I'm going to kind of go into what that looks like, what that means. So it's really important that you know where all of your documents are. It's important that you know passwords to bank accounts. It's important that you know logins, you know where all of your assets are. Um, you know where like your birth certificate is, you know where your social security number is. You have a place where you keep your taxes after your copy of your taxes after you filed. You need to know where your stuff is. Where's your stuff? You need to know. And so that's step number one. I want to encourage you all to take some time and figure all that out. You can get organized digitally. If you are very tech savvy and you want to create for some things, right? Because you can't get digital, um, with a birth certificate or a passport and things like that. But for statements, um, um, get bookmarks on your browser. So with a folder, even for that, if you have multiple bank accounts with different financial institutions, get all that bookmark. Um, and or if you want to do more old school, I can't reach it, but I have a file folder or a file cabinet, a little portable one. It's not like a cabinet, a little bin, I'll just say, where I have hanging folders in it and I have organized it in alphabetical order, just different things, Um, my my life insurance policies over there, my passports, my legal documents. I have some legal court documents. I have some paperwork like for my car. I have some things like that in there. Um, I have medical bills that I have paid, like maybe large ones. Some of the things that I have, I could probably get rid of, honestly, because I was going through it a little bit before I was preparing for this, and I'm like, I could probably let this go. But the point is that I took the time to get organized. I organized my banks. I organized all my documents. Um, if you have like a will, a trust, like things like that. Like you just want to know where all your things are. So that is step number one to get organized. So I did find a list and I'm going to read some things on here just to help get your mind working. Or if you're thinking about like, well, what should I gather? Here's a list. So some important examples of some important legal documents. Like I said, birth certificate, adoption papers, marriage licenses, divorce paperwork, your social security card, passport, permanent resident card, which you probably carry, like a passport. I know I keep my passports locked away because I don't carry them as ID. Naturalization documents, wills, if you have like a power of attorney, um, a copy of your deed to your home, um, your title, your car title. Where's your car title? So that's some ideas of some legal documents that you want to know where they are and you want to put them in a safe place. You want to put them in something fireproof. So start thinking about those things. Look up some of those fireproof cabinets, and think about your own life and your own documents and things that you have. Where are they? And let's get them all in one place so you know exactly where your things are. We talked about taxes. So they say you should keep taxes up to 3 years. Now, I keep my taxes electronically because I file electronically, and then I just go ahead and save a copy. So I have a folder on my computer that has various years of tax returns. And again, you only probably need to keep 3, but I have more than that just because it's digital. But something like that. This property tax statements. Um, Nowadays, I mean, if you want to just have it handy, you can. Let's say you're doing borrowing at the bank using your home. Let's say you want to get like a home equity line of credit. It might be helpful to go ahead and know where your property tax statement is, to show proof that it's paid in the event there's some discrepancy with the county. So that's not harmful to have. Personal property. If you're in the state of Missouri, you know all about personal property. Um, and having that statement again, showing proof it's paid. Even if you just wrote paid and the date. Um, and that way, if there's ever some type of discrepancy with the county or the state, you have proof, or you can get them proof. It's like, hey, I paid this on such and such date. Um, from you don't have to tell them specifics about your account, but if you put enough notes on your own statement, it'll be easy for you to track down that debit that they took the money out your account already. Financial accounts. So bank statements and like credit card statements, you could probably nowadays just logging into your account online, you can access those things. If you have like special situations maybe where you've set something up on some type of debt repayment plan, or you've done some type of debt not elimination, but like cancellation. You've settled a debt, something like that. I would definitely hold on to for a little bit. Um, Retirement accounts, again, you can probably access those things um, online also. But that goes back to where are my retirement accounts? Do you have those bookmarked in your browser? Um, do you know your login? Do you need to reset your password? It goes back to that. So again, either digitally or manually on paper. Investment accounts, the same thing as with retirement accounts. Um, so sources of income, that's something again you can probably access online. So is it bookmarked in your browser? If you're not like a W-2 wage earner or a 1099 earner and you're retired, do you know where your recent Social Security award letter is, or your pension award letter, or your IRA distribution statement, or your required minimum distribution? Where are these papers? So those are some things that you would want to be sure you know how to access easily in the event that you needed them. Alimony, child support, that's a document sometimes you need. So be sure it's in a safe place. So you get the idea on like types of income. Financial obligations. Again, this list, some of the things, again, you could probably get online, right? By logging in your account, but mortgage statements, lease, utility bills, you could probably do that online mostly. But if you're somebody that wants to keep that, that would be something else. Car payments. I've always, instead of your car payments, you might also want to have if you have a loan on your car, you want to be sure you have a copy of your promissory note. So be sure you have your loan, everything that you signed when you got your loan, be sure you keep those papers. Student loans, child support payments, if you're making child support payments, and same like alimony. So things like that. Insurance, be sure you know where your policies are. Where's your homeowner's insurance policy? Where are your life insurance policies? Where's your renter's insurance policy? Medical, be sure you know what all your medical insurance covers. If you have that, they usually mail that out. Or again, is it bookmarked on your browser? So that's a list of some things. Let's see if I missed anything. We talked about medical, a will, death certificates for loved ones if needed. And then even if you're military, I know somebody that was in the military. Current military, your like a current military ID, I would assume you have it on you, but what about your discharge paperwork? You might want to have that in a safe place and easy to find. So, and there may be some other things that are pertinent to your life that would need to also be included. But those are just some general ideas. I thought that list was helpful to get your thoughts going. So the reason that not just getting organized, right? Getting organized will set a foundation where you know where everything is, right? And it's also going to force you to look at things. You're going to probably look at a balance for the first time. You'll see how much is in a retirement account that you haven't looked at in a while. Or maybe how much is in your savings, or it could be the opposite. You could be like, wow, is this all I have? So it'll just get you facing something that you possibly have been ignoring. You possibly have been dodging it on purpose. Like out of sight, out of mind, or ignorance is bliss. A lot of people dodge facing what their financial situation really is. It's like if I ignore it, it'll go away. And that's definitely an approach you don't want to take. I challenge you to know your financial situation, even if it's not where you want it to be. It's important to start somewhere. So, all of this gathering and organizing, write down everything that you know you have, and then mark it off once you've located it and put it in a folder or scanned it in digitally, however you feel it'll be easiest for you to manage it. Do that. And then you can start to see an accumulation of your assets. Okay. So assets could be cash, liquidity, cash on hand, money in your checking, your savings, a money market account, a high yield savings account, um, or investment. So a CD, it's more liquid than it is an investment. I think sometimes it's referred to as an investment because it will have a maturity date, but it can also be withdrawn with a penalty. So, but I would probably put a CD more with cash. But it depends on the size of your CD. It depends. It could be either one. But anyhow, cash, liquidity, investment. So what investment accounts do you have? Um, this total of your investments would be a part of your net worth. All right, because we want to look at all your assets. Life insurance. How much life insurance coverage do you have? And do you have enough? Do you have any? And I know a great group that can get you some life insurance or have that conversation if you want to learn more. So, life insurance, the value of your life insurance would be an asset. Are you a small business owner? Or, what's your business net worth? That's an asset. If you were to sell that business, could give you a lot of money, right? So what's the net worth of your business? Retirement accounts. How much do you have? Are you on track to retire soon? Are you behind? You need to play catch up. Do you need to figure out how you can get some margin in your budget so you can play catch up? So again, getting organized, knowing where your documents are, um, setting those bookmarks on your browser, on your personal computer. Um, those are steps that are critical to really setting a foundation and really just showing not just yourself, but your finances that you're about to take charge. Okay. So that's all I have for this episode. I hope it was helpful. I hope that you took maybe at least one thing away. But please leave comments. Leave me comments, leave me questions. Um, but start there. And then next week, I'll be back and we'll talk about step 2. Once you have set that foundation and gotten organized and gotten all your paperwork, all your documents in a row, and passwords reset and all that. So thank you again. Thank you for joining me again. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time on Wealth Reimagined.